Recording.
All right.
All right. All right. Well, that was difficult. Nick, Braden, welcome back. Uh, week 4 of fantasy football, week 2 of the podcast, Powerball Junior podcast. The basement faggots have been real quiet recently. We haven't heard from them. I don't believe so. Um, we got a good show for you today. I have a quick rant. You'll see I'll probably interrupt Nick at some point. But excited to talk. We had some really good matchups, 1 point scores, last Monday night games. Yeah, Nick and Braden, any opening remarks?
Uh, how many wins do you guys have in the season so far? Just just one each?
I
One
don't
each,
I
yeah.
don't I don't draft for the start of the season. I draft from weeks 8 and on, so I'm not concerned, but
I have two.
that's great. How's your number
Dude,
one
you
pick?
have double.
And I
Braden, how's Nick's number one pick doing?
didn't need him
I
to be
think
you.
you should have listened to Ben. I'm just saying. Ben called
Ben,
it.
Ben did
Don't
call
draft
you.
CD Lamb. Don't draft CD Lamb.
Who else
You
should I
did
draft?
anyway.
I think Ben said he was going to tear his ACL. It looked pretty bad. It wasn't a torn ACL, but Ben did say
No.
that.
Hey,
Maybe
season's not
Justin
over.
Jefferson, but that's not going well either. Anyway,
Hey, he's playing.
Well,
OC's playing, baby.
we have a great show for you. Lots of information in our little 40-minute window that we do that pisses everyone off, mostly just Paul. So we have a bunch of segments, and we're gonna start with segment one. And it's Nick. I'll let you explain it. I'm gonna say it's Nick's nerd nugget of the week. Nick,
yeah. So I've been digging into the data. I had a lot of free time on my hands, so I went back in and entered into Excel all the data starting back from 2024 for like weekly scoring. All the way to current, so it's been about 17 weeks. I only went back that far because that's when we changed the defensive scoring, so I wanted to kind of look at a few things. Just some random facts that I discovered.
real quick. I'm 3 seconds, and I'm gonna let you go for the whole time. If you listen to this podcast, which I think he does,
Does.
if there's ever a question, Dad, that maybe Nick wasn't your kid, I promise you, Nick is your kid because you were both the biggest dorks in the whole world. Okay, continue.
All right. So there's a lot of talk about like league median and like, being in the top half of the league versus the bottom half of the league. So I was like, well, what is like the normal league median?
Who's
It is-
talking about these things? Sorry, just to interject.
We voted on it in the offseason. It
Okay.
got voted down, but we still voted on it.
Okay.
The league median
Good side
is
quote, Braden.
the league median is 124.7. So if you hit that 125 mark, you should expect yourself to have about a 50% chance of winning. So I think that's pretty interesting. That's where we should all maybe be aiming for every week. I mean,
I think I've done that like 3 times, and I've won it too. So
there you go. And then the average of all the scores across, I think it's like 204 people is 125.9. So pretty interesting. I looked at the highest score over that stretch of 17 weeks dating back to last season. That was Anthony, week 10, 2024. He scored 187.9. There's debate that
not the highest score ever. The highest score ever
not
is
the highest score ever.
267 points. Thank you.
Yes. 267. We've had some rule changes since then. So yeah. Mike was actually only 1.2 points short of that in this week. So that was pretty interesting. And also fun fact, Anthony, you have 3 of the top 5 highest scores over the course of since last year. And Mike has the other 2. So you and Mike have the top 5 scores.
if it doesn't show my dominance and my knowledge
There you go.
and my Infinity Stone method, it works.
Now, the lowest score, the flip side of that, was Justin in week 3 of last year. He scored a measly 68.05 points. So if you happen to score less than that this year, you'll be the new record holder.
Someone was close. Wasn't Braden pretty close this week?
William was actually pretty close this week.
William? Sorry, not you, Braden.
Yeah, it was good.
Okay, I got a little trivia for you guys. So, since the beginning of last year, we've had 26 out of the 204 possible scores, about 13% under 100 points. Abysmal. Guess which 2 players have yet to score below that 100 mark?
I know that I have. I'm gonna say Steady Eddie Dave Jones.
No, it was
No, I
actually
don't like Dave.
Braden. You
Can
got to
I
get.
go? I'm gonna go with Connor.
It was actually Anthony
I
and
haven't.
yeah, Anthony and Mike. So
I feel
the
like I've laid some pretty bad eggs, but I guess
the
not.
two people with some of the highest scores in the league over the last year also have never scored below 100. So peak consistency. Now we've had five. Now, which player has had five of those scores under 100 for about 20% of them being attributed to one player?
Five, probably
I,
Paul.
I think it's me.
It is actually Alexi. I think Brady, you were up.
Screw that guy.
I
I
mean,
hate that
talk
guy.
about burying the kid at the start of the show. Yeah,
It's bad. And then the
That
last
guy
thing I'll
sucks.
say is I looked at all 204 scores since the beginning of last year and determined that the most consistent people that have finished over that average of 125.9 was Connor has done it 12 times and Justin and I have each done it 10 times. And that
that
is the most.
checks. That tracks. I mean,
So
all everyone there. I mean, everyone there has to have a ring, right? Oh wait, Connor can't get it done in the playoffs. He's the Baltimore Ravens of football, bro.
yeah.
Connor, it just comes down to coaching in the
Moving
playoffs.
on. All right, moving on. Segment 2. This segment is called Underdog Uprising, and it is actually named after last year's team that rose from the bottom of the barrel to make the playoffs, the underdog to top dog, William Sherry. I took a look at which teams are currently averaging under 115 points, and we're going to talk about which of them have the best chance to make the playoffs. So through 3 weeks last year, William was averaging 107.2. Alexi was averaging 97.7. Awful. And Justin was averaging 115.4. Those are the bottom four. Obviously, as we just mentioned, William actually crawled out of that pit and made the playoffs. This year's choices, we have 4 choices. Paul is currently averaging 109. William is on here again at 111. Dave is at 112.5, and then surprise, Alexi is on here yet again, 114.5. Alexi, you really suck. What we're gonna do here is we're each gonna quickly make a case on which person or how each of these people, Paul, William, Dave, and Alexi, are going to make the playoffs. So Anthony, what's Alexi's case, real quick?
Yeah, so I mean, first of all, I was cracking up about this. I want the audience to know that Nick texted on the side of this, which I hate because I'm a pretty negative guy on this podcast when I need to be negative. And he's like, "Let's act like it's March Madness," and I'm like, "This is literally a Make a Wish." I'm calling this segment the Make a Wish segment. He's like, "Act like it's March Madness and the 16th seed might have a chance." So I'm gonna be real positive for you, Alexi. You have Lamar Jackson. That's always good. He's going to score a lot of fantasy points like he did and beat Braden. Travion Henderson, I think it's his backfield. Ramondre fumbled twice. He has a fumbling problem the last year. Vrabel was pissed at him. So maybe he's good. Pacheco, I don't know, but I guess if they start passing when Rashee Rice comes back and maybe Worthy, it opens up the run a little bit more and he gets better. If Brian Thomas can somehow figure out how to catch the football, he could actually be pretty good. Nico Collins is already good. Yeah, so I mean, he has big name players and he's got guys that I will say this. I draft, like I said at the beginning, for weeks 8 and beyond, typically, guys that might not start great and that will keep going. Braden, I'll take your apology about Hampton anytime. Thank you. But you know what, Alexa, you have guys that are probably underperforming and that will get better as the season goes, like the Travion Hendersons, the Brian Thomases, hopefully. And you have Brandon Aubrey, so you got the X factor. So Alexi, hang in there, buddy. And you're 2-1. So
your advice for Alexi is just stay the course and it's gonna get
stay
better.
The course, and I think it'll get better. And I think he has guys that will progress and that he has a lot of guys that are like being weird. Like Brian Thomas is weird. Devonta Smith, weird. Like they didn't throw the ball, and maybe they'll start. I don't know. We'll see. But maybe they realize they can throw. But yeah, that's stick the course, Alexi.
Okay. So I'll jump into my case for Dave. I do think it's going to be an uphill battle. He lost Burrow, so now he's streaming at QB. That injury affects Higgins negatively. He's real thin at running back. He's only got Bijan and Jaylen Warren as his every week starters. Tyreek is okay, but the Dolphins are just kind of awful now. He's got bright spots with Tyler Warren and Ted McMillan, so I think those are definitely pieces to build around. They're only going to get better as the season goes. Dave, love you, but your team's bad. So my advice is you're going to have to continue to rely on Bijan. He's going to have to win you some cheap weeks, I think. You're going to have to get lucky streaming at QB. Maybe hope Justin Fields comes back and is good.
I disagree. I think Jared Goff's going to be just fine. And Dave Jones is one Kyron Williams injury away from having an RB1.
That's true. Now, my trade advice personally would be to see if you could package Higgins and Tyreek, somebody that's underperforming, maybe like you mentioned, a Brian Thomas Jr. or maybe like a Nico Collins who has had one good week. Maybe you can get that done. I think you just need more stability there. I don't think Higgins is going to be an every week starter. Also, looking for those defenses. Those can obviously blow up and win you weeks. My prediction, if Dave makes the playoffs, it's going to be in the division. He's either going to go, he started 2-1 in the division, he could go 5-1 or 4-2 in division play, win the division, make it as the 3 seed at like a cheap 7 or 8-6. People will complain, but that's what's going to happen. Braden, your case for Paul.
Case for Paul. Yeah.
This is a tough one.
It's a real tough one. I got dealt a tough one, and I'm going to try to do my best. But I do think it's similar to what Anthony was saying, where Paul, I think you just got to stay the course, maybe make a couple adjustments here and there. But QB, you got Caleb Williams. You also have Jaden Daniels. Caleb Williams is currently QB2. He's been looking a lot better these past couple of weeks, but you also have Jaden Daniels coming back. So my advice would be maybe look to package one of them with another guy I'll mention here below to try to get your flex spot a little bit better, because I think that's an area where you could improve. Chuba's great, great RB2. The two guys that you need to just stay the course with, and this is why I think your team should get a little bit better, is Genty and Drake London. It's your first and second round picks. They should be performing, and they're not. So you just got to give Genty a little bit of time. And then with Drake London's good, but Michael Penix, he just needs a little bit of time. And maybe they'll switch back to Kirk. So who knows? But I think
Paul trading GT for like literally nothing. Can you just see that happen, like that trade coming through?
No. You tried doing it today with Braden, and thank God Paul gave me a ring, and I said decline that shit right now, bro.
I was gonna say I can see that happening, and unfortunately it did not. But
for like Quinshon Judkins or somebody like that.
No,
Braden tried to get his first and second round pick for 2 of his guys that'll never start in a waiver wire player. So he shut that down.
Anthony, what's your case for William? Can you do it again?
Yeah. Give me 10 seconds on Paul, and I'll go right to William. Stay the course, Paul. I know you listen to this. You're probably like our biggest viewer that listens to it the fastest because you wake up at 4 a.m. I don't know why you're not starting Michael Pittman. It's wide receiver 12, and you're playing Ricky Pearsall. I put in Pittman. He gets like 10 targets a game, and the Colts look great. So I would play Pittman, and like you guys said, stay the course. I think Genty gets better. I think Chuba gets better because Bryce Young gets better, and we saw flashes of that. He's got the quarterbacks. For William,
Jerry Jeudy against Green Bay was kind of malpractice.
Yeah, I don't know.
With Pearsall and Pittman on the bench,
I don't see the juice from Flacco this year, but no, they just won sort of.
Do you or do you not think he should trade for Brian Robinson so he can have both guys who've gotten shot on his team?
I think it'd be a good locker room move. They could bond over that.
That's what I think too.
Over my dead body, he's getting Brian Robinson.
Yeah.
His ACL tear is coming any week.
Your ACL's coming, buddy. William, my case for William, this one's a little easier because I just last week said that William is the best team in the league. And he's 2-1. Same with Alexi. So yeah, the points aren't there, but I would assume Drake May is going to keep getting better, right? As a young quarterback. Barkley's great. Bucky Irving's great. Again, 2 awesome running backs. Ladd's awesome. I think he had a bad week last week, but targets are there. Matthew Golden, only going to get better. We saw flashes of it last week. He had his best week yet. Not great, but it was better. Mark Andrews, I think he caught his first touchdown, so maybe he's relevant again. I'm not really sure. But William, the team isn't Xavier Worthy's coming back. He's 2-1, and maybe he hasn't scored a lot of points, but I can't really figure it out. I like Williams' team. I think
Yeah.
it's gonna keep winning. He's
Could
got a
be-
lot of Ravens, a little too many Ravens for my liking, but that's okay.
Yeah, to be fair to William, the 72.3 might have brought his average down. I only looked at the averages. So, I mean, if he scores a normal like 100, 110 this
Yeah.
week, which is still bad, like he probably wouldn't be in the bottom three.
He had a weird week last week with McConkey and Barkley not playing well, which doesn't happen much. All right.
That was fun.
On good segment, Nick. There's your positivity of the podcast moment of the week. Segment 3, we're gonna now get into the matchups. Nick, I guess this is where I'll say my little rant about Nick. We started this podcast and we used to just rip it, man. We used to just what comes and flows out of the brain. It's what I love about the game, Nick, now that he has a kid and doesn't have a job anymore, well, I guess he kind of does. He sends this Google sheet to us every week, and it has just like a storybook of here's a stat, and then he even puts it. What really ticked me off is he puts it in like my category of notes that I could say about the matchup. It's like that's not how this podcast works. I'm flowing, so I just want the whole league to know that Nick sends paragraphs and paragraphs and pages of every breakdown, every second word that comes out of this podcast
for your guys' listening pleasure.
Okay. Segment 3, matchups. Nick versus Anthony. Braden, take your away.
Well, the matchup of the week definitely delivered with Nick edging out AJ 133.65 to 132. The matchup came down to Monday night where AJ needed Laporta to score 9 points, but came up 1.7 points short.
Don't read his shit, please.
So good.
That was just a little blurb that Nick had written. So I thought you guys would appreciate that. Nick was able to overcome the CD injury and still get the dub here. Honestly, I think it came down to Laporta. He needed like one more on Monday night.
Well,
did you guys stay up
I
watching?
do want to point out that, and I think I would have lost by 0.65, but Mahomes lost a point taking knees. So
that's tough. That's
play.
tough. You want to have Lamar Jackson who's losing in the fourth quarter and he just goes down and gets you 10 points of garbage. That's what you actually want. Anthony, I do owe you an apology for Amari and Hampton.
Accepted.
Najee is no longer the guy. So
and he looked pretty good last week, didn't he?
He looked great.
Yeah.
He looks good. I'm a little concerned about your wide receivers. If they don't catch touch, they're kind of bad.
Agreed.
McCaffrey's holding up great. So if he stays healthy, I like your team. Nick's finally figured it out a little bit at running back. I do think Bill kind of sucks.
They don't seem to be committed to being like, we're just going to run with Bill. Did they have 3 guys now? It's a bit odd.
I think Bill is good, but I just don't think he's going to get enough work. And if he doesn't score a touchdown, you're getting 5 points a week.
They did the same
but
thing.
Jordan Mason is great.
And Trey, I think Benson's going to be, incredible. He's going to get so many catches. I wish I had Benson. He's going to be the RB1 of your team. It was a frustrating loss, obviously. And you guys brought it up last week where I kind of was like, you know what? I'm going to take a tight end. And it's not necessarily like he's like terrible. Like he's not getting like 2 points a game. But I drafted a tight end high for the exact reason that on Sunday night or whatever, Monday night, like I need 10 fucking fantasy points. And I took you in the 3rd or 4th round. I need you to get 10 points. They had like 3 drives at the end where they had to throw the ball, and it just never looked this way.
He was great. He was open every time they threw it to him. They didn't need him.
Yeah,
they're all good.
Ben Johnson likes to use the tight ends more. That might have backfired a little bit.
I have a question for Nick. How are you feeling? Speaking about tight ends, how are you feeling about drafting Brock Bowers that high?
Brock got hurt in week 1 with the knee injury. I saw some stuff that with that type of injury, you'd see a dip in production for like 3 weeks. I'm expecting in the next couple of weeks he'll come round back into form. I think Geno can throw the ball. There's no reason. I just don't think he's getting open.
I love Brock Bowers. And every Saturday it's my Batman suit. I always send a meme in my friend's group chat of like the Batman suit in the container. And it's like my Brock Bowers jersey I wear for every Georgia game. The problem I had taking him where he was going is he had like one of the greatest tight end seasons. As a rookie, he had the greatest, and then I know it wasn't as good as like Gronk in his prime, maybe, but one of the better tight end seasons ever. last year. You could
With
argue,
like Gardner Minshew.
right? But like, it's hard to do that in the NFL 2 years in a row. It always is, and he was going drafted so early. I think he will be fine. It's just like, is he going to be like Gronk? I don't know. He isn't that Brady. Next matchup: Paul versus Connor. Nick.
Yeah, so Connor kind of let down the entire podcast by getting absolutely blown out by Paul, 125.1 to 88.5. It wasn't so much that Paul won this matchup. Connor just didn't really show up. I mean, I think we all said Connor was going to absolutely mop the floor with Paul. We talked about it earlier. Paul's team sucks, yada, yada, yada. Paul's team was carried by Caleb Williams and Hunter Henry. They scored 69.1 points, almost beating Connor just by that alone. The rest of his team was kind of garbage and didn't really have anything to write home about.
Hey, shout out Hunter Henry. Shout out Hunter. Still doing it, boys. I feel like he's been
Still doing it.
steady Eddie, bro. He's still doing it. Love that guy.
So yeah, I personally may have been too quick to crown Connor last week. I think I talked him up pretty good. The only players that really showed up on his team were Keenan Allen and Harrison Butker. 19.5 points and 14 points. He had 6 other players score under 8.5. That's honestly pretty crazy. It's pretty impressive. And then
the Bengals look like they're bad. Chase Brown,
Bengals might be bad. Yeah, so I
bad.
On my doc that I send out, I mean, I wrote it. I spent time. I'm going to read them. Some other notes I had specifically for Connor. I think Neighbors is going to get better now that Russ is gone. I think Kraft got hurt during the week. I think I saw that come through. So I think he played a little injured, so he wasn't that good. Steal the draft. I do think Huge and Keenan Allen, he can probably start both of them if he needs to. I think they're both viable starting options. Looks like he's getting Godwin back this week. I saw that news.
And Evans is out, so he might be wide receiver one.
A lot of wide receivers. So maybe he tries to shop around some of those wide receivers to make an upgrade to his running backs. I think he can still get value for Chase Brown and Kamara. Maybe package them together. Find somebody that is actually going to be better. But he's got a lot of wide receivers, and you can only start 3. So
I think the road ahead for Connor is actually okay. There was like 3 major headlines you could argue in the Sunday games. One was the Browns just lost by 50. So, of course, Chase Brown, who's a running back, is not going to be that involved when you're down 30 at halftime or whatever. The Saints were down 30 at halftime, also a running back. So, like, again, not going to be that great when you're down 30 as a running back. And then Malik Neighbors not getting the ball and Russell Wilson not capable of it. So they're like, Dart are coming up next week. So I think like that's why he had a bad week. I think the road is fine. I think Neighbors can't get any worse. I'm a huge Dart guy. I thought he was the best quarterback in the draft personally. I think Calvin Ridley's going to get better as the season goes too. A couple bad weeks, but and Quentin Johnson might actually be the steal of the draft, not Kraft. So yeah.
Quentin Johnson not drafted.
Dave and Carter, correct? Oh, yep. Not even drafted. So pickup of the year so far. Carter put an ass kick into Dave. Not a good week from Pops. Both 2-1. Carter needed a win. He lost his RB2 for the whole year. And I look at his bench and I'm a little concerned because Harvey, I think he's good, but I don't think at any point, like some people thought at the draft, like I did, that he's going to be like the guy. Dobbins looks really good unless Dobbins gets hurt, which he does every year. I don't think Harvey's ever going to be startable unless that happens. DeAndre Swift, 1, he's hurt, and 2, that backfield's getting more and more split every week. Carter, I think, is in trouble. Jonathan Taylor's awesome, but he doesn't have running backs. He has not a very good bench. I mean, I guess Shakir's good, right? But he got the win. So shout out Carter, put up 131. Dave, I'm not, as like I said earlier, I won't get into it again. I could repeat myself. I'm not out on Dave's team. T. Higgins is a big blow, but the whole team was a mess that week. It's the NFL. It's week to week. I think they'll figure it out. But Carter, good week and carried by kind of 2 guys, honestly. 3 guys. Taylor, Browning, Wilson.
Jonathan Taylor could be the steal of the draft.
Yeah, he looks like he did when he was the number 1 pick a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones plays well, then that'll continue. Next is Ben versus Justin Braden.
Yeah, this was a good matchup. Ben hit the over of the median. He was at 125.25, but I think Justin
This
scored the most points this week, almost the
was
most.
actually Ben was
Um,
actually seventh in scoring this week.
Let's try and get
uh,
these matchups done in the next 2 minutes.
yeah, okay. Ben's team actually, I mean, it's fine. I'm a little concerned about Jamar Chase. He looked fine last week, not as good this week, and I mean, you need him to be producing. Um, Also, you shouldn't start Wandale Robinson. So start anybody else, Ben. Ben, you should probably trade somebody. Brees Hall, Wandale. You gotta get a double flex in there.
Change
Justin's
something.
team, what highest score in the league so far, 3-0. I like his team a lot. I think Ferguson's the number one tight end. Puka's number one wide receiver. Like he's just solid all the way through. Um, so I think he's definitely the team to beat right now, in my
Right.
opinion.
I like it. Mike versus William. Nick.
You could basically skip this one. There's not much to say other than Mike punted William into another dimension. 186.7 to 72.3. This was actually Mike had the second highest score since the beginning of last year, and William had the second lowest score since the beginning of last year. So very impressive that that came in the same matchup. Um, Mike had everyone except for his kicker show up, and the only reason his kicker didn't show up was because Jalen Hurts had 4 touchdowns, and they didn't even need to kick field goals for the Eagles. He's got solid running back depth, and then William. I think Anthony said it. He's not out on his team. He's got a solid foundation. He just needs to figure out his flex position, and he also has 3 tight ends, so he should probably figure that out.
Yeah, drop 2 of them, but
All right. And that brings our last matchup: Braden versus my Make a Wish member of the week, Alexi. But you know what? Alexi won this matchup. I think the big part of this entire thing was a minute 13 left. Lamar Jackson scored and beat Braden very late in the game. Braden had to stay up late, and his baby probably woke him up in the night. It's probably a long night for Braden on Monday. But yeah, I mean, both teams are. Braden's fine. I don't know. He won, but and this hurts me so bad to say, and I'll say it again in a couple minutes. Braden's loaded. Braden's team is the team to beat in this league. I wouldn't. He's 1-2, 0 concern. He has Allen's. Javonte Williams looks so good at football. He looks like I'm stunned as a Cowboys fan how good he looks. ETN looks great. Jay Jettas, if he can get 13 with Carson Wentz, and it'll just be fine. I think Marvin Harrison should have had 35 points last week if he could catch the football. It's the NFL. He's going to learn how to catch the football. But then he has Derrick Henry, who's not playing well, but he's still Derrick Henry. And then Montgomery. And then I thought the best running back of the entire weekend, if you're looking at like actually watching them play, was Quinshon Judkins. Looked unreal against a really good Packers defense. Brady's got like 4 RBs that he could play that could all be RB1s at some point. He's got Jefferson, Marvin Harrison, and now he has the wide receiver 1 for the Dallas Cowboys, who is going to absolutely feast. He's the new CeeDee Lamb.
Braden, what do you wish you did differently this week? Were you toying?
So many
Take us
things.
through the process.
Okay, so first things first, I dropped my kicker. And then I picked up a great kicker. He scored 14. Kicker that I dropped, he scored 26. He scored like 2 points each of the first 2 weeks. He scored 26. So if I did that, I would have won. I pivoted. I switched from George Pickens to Marv like 2 minutes before kickoff. So I would have won there. Also, what else did I do? I was going to start Judkins over ETN. Would have won that as well. And the defense. I dropped the Steelers defense. They scored like 20 something for the Commanders. I would have won there too. There were like 20 different things that went on that like I should have won. Justice Hill breaks like 3 tackles and looks like Derrick Henry on a 3rd and 26 on the last drive to then
that was sick.
get them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but otherwise I was gonna win because they weren't gonna do anything. And of course he breaks that tackle. And then after that happened, I about to lose because you weren't going to stop Lamar after that. So
Yeah, I mean, bad beat. I would compare that to the Browns beating the Packers this weekend. Sorry, Lexi, that was kind of a low blow, but kind of like probably shouldn't have won, but somehow won at the very end. Nick, I'm going to do segment 5 because we can do it in 30 seconds. And then I'm going to do the best segment on the show. And then if we have time, we'll do 4.
we got 8
Segment
minutes.
5, we're going to do week 3 matchups like we did last week. Quick. Who do you think's going to win? We'll do Nick, Braden, me, and all of them. That's the order we're going to do. Justin versus Braden.
Gotta find it. Gosh. I like Justin in this one. I think this actually I had a
Matchup
different one
of the
as
week.
the week. I think this is the matchup of the week. Now that I'm rethinking about it, I'm excited for this one.
I got Justin. I have really bad matchups this week, so I think Justin's going to beat me.
Mr. 3-0, Justin, correct? He's 3-0.
Only 3-0 team.
The Empire Falls. Braden's got too much juice, too many options, too many guys. Give me Braden. Nick versus Paul. Nick.
I got myself in this one. I mean, we've been ragging on Paul the whole time. I'm actually very excited to play Paul this week.
Braden.
I got Paul. I think Genty and didn't finally figure it out.
I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna go with Paul actually as well. I think the Falcons have a huge bounce back week. Offensively, London gets going. I love the Genty take. Paul, put in Pittman, please. And that game should probably be a shootout. Rams Colts gonna be probably the best game of the weekend. I like Paul to squeak one out. I think it's gonna be close. It's gonna come down to Nick's running backs and filling that city gap. William versus Carter. Nick.
I got Carter in this one. Williams got bad matchups pretty much all the way through, in my opinion.
Braden.
I got Carter as well. I just like his team a lot. Jonathan Taylor and Amon Rob. I mean, they're insane. So I like Carter.
Yeah. Bad matchups, but give me William to bounce back this week and some of his stars to have a good week. Alexi versus Ben. Nick.
Ooh. I like Ben.
Okay. Braden.
I got Sexy Lexi. I actually like his team, and I think Lamar's really good. I hate that guy.
Agreed. Give me Make-A-Wish boy. All right. Mike versus Dave.
Mike, easy. Mike's team is a wagon.
Okay. Braden.
Mike.
I got Mike too. And then as Nick put here, the matchup of the week, but it's really Justin versus Braden, right? Is what we agreed on. That just shows the star power I have in the Dallas Cowboys. I don't even have to be good. And they're going to put me on prime time. They're going to put me in the matchup of the week.
Mostly did this matchup of the week because one of you guys is going to be 1-3, and I feel like you guys are both like pretty competitive every year. So that'll be a tough.
I think both the teams are good. Who do you got?
I don't know. What do you got?
Braden?
I got AJ. I'm like out on Chase Brown and Kamara. Like I think they're kind of done. Quentin Johnston is catching a bunch of touchdowns. The second he doesn't catch a touchdown, he's done. Tucker Kraft had one good game. Keenan Allen's good. I'll give Keenan Allen that.
Right.
Malik Neighbors, I think, is good long term, but like it's the rookie's first game. Like he's not gonna do anything crazy. Like max, he'll probably get like 20, but like he's projected 18. So like he can't do that much better than that. I don't think so. I got
Braden, will you give me an update when things says 5 minutes?
What?
Has it said 5 minutes on your side yet?
420.
I got Anthony. I got Anthony in this one. Josh Jacobs about to score 30 against the Cowboys defense.
Very similar. I know I'm picking myself, but I do like me this week. Hampton versus the Giants, great matchup. And like you said, I think Josh Jacobs, it's the Cowboys. He's going to run rampant. And then I like Mahomes and the Ravens. Those games are all turning into a shootout. So I kind of like it. Let's maybe get our first shootout, and then McCaffrey against the bad Jacksonville defense too. I like the matchups. DJ Moore against Vegas should be good. That's the matchups, and someone just walked in. Yo, it's Pepperoni Tony. I'm back, baby. I'm back with another Pepperoni Tony penis pepperoni pizza player pick of the week. Strum, strum, strum. Connor's got a tum, tum, tum. Herbert's dating Madison Beer, and he's good, and he keeps winning, and it's good for him, and he's got come, come, come. In the Music City, the mighty Music City, Tony Pollard found the box. We home away. We went country, and now we're getting bougie up in the Hamptons, up in New York, up in LA, where Najee Harris can't walk. He tore his tendon. He might have to be a pedestrian because it's time for Omarion. Kind of works. All right. Omarion told Braden, fuck you. It's my time to shine. I'm looking for another big week out of the rookie. A great matchup. I'm saying 17 carries, 135 total yards. Not one, but 2 trips to the box this week. Back to you fellas in the studio.
Tony. You really considered Tony Pollard? I mean, he only got 14 points.
He found the box.
All right.
And it was looking bad until then, but I got
All
really
right.
excited.
What
All right.
What's segment? Best team in the league?
Best team in the league, but do it quick. Nick, who do
All
you
right.
have?
One sentence. I got Justin. He's 3-0 head-to-head. He's 3-0 against the league medium. Been a top 3 scorer 2 out of 3 weeks, and he has the most points in the league. Easy.
Braden, what's the time at?
2 minutes.
Okay, we kind of have time. Okay.
We got time. I got Justin. He has the most points in the league, and he's 3-0. Nothing else left to say.
Yeah, I think Justin's good, but as I said, this fucking sucks to say. But I have Braden as the best team in the league. I know the record doesn't say it, and he's 1-2, and that's crazy, but there's so much juice on that team. There's so many guys. It's the deep
You don't
in the
want
league with good starters.
Yeah. Thursday night football, over-under picks. I'll kick us off. JSN, he's on my team, over 80.5 yards. He's hit it 3 straight weeks. Arizona's depleted at corner, and JSN's currently seeing a 40% target share on that team, over 80.5.
Braden?
Didn't look before.
What's up?
Braden,
I froze.
you're up, Braden.
What's your Thursday night football pick?
Oh my God, did we just lose him?
We lost. Wait, he's recording.
Okay, he's back. Braden, who's your pick?
I'm back. Marvin Harrison under yards and receptions and literally everything. That guy sucks.
I hate that. I think it's Marvin's time to shine in prime time. I'm gonna go with the man that I think is gonna get so many dump offs. Give me Trey Benson over 4 catches this week. I think he gets 2 or 3 in the first drive. So the Seahawks defense is pretty legit. It's gonna be a lot. They blitz at an insane rate. There's gonna be a lot of dump offs to Benson. Braden, time.
30 seconds.
All right. Well, that wraps up this week, ladies, gentlemen. We don't have ladies anymore. Shout out Dolan. But are we still allowed to make that joke now you have a kid and a wife?
I don't care.
Okay, all right, cool. But thanks for viewing. Love you guys. Good luck this week. Let's have another good one. And
This was really professional. We got this under 40 minutes. I'm really proud of us.
I really wish we could figure out how to just have unlimited